Hey YouTube, Donnie Smith here, and welcome to another video in the Integra series. In this video, we're going to demonstrate how to apply base coat. This is waterborne base coat, and then we're going to clear cut it, but we're going to show how to apply base coat without using primer sealer. But when doing this, there are some things you got to watch out for, and that's what we're going to discuss in this video. So we're getting this car wiped down, some wax and grease remover, and getting ready to spray it. And we're going to spray this. You know, you've asked about before, do we have to use primer sealer? And you don't. You don't have to have primer sealer, but you do have to have the right gray shade. And this primer surfacer is the correct gray shade. And that's another method that you can use. You know, if you're using primer surfacer that is the correct color, that is recommended, you know, you can use that as well. And this does happen to be the right gray shade that we was needing for primer sealer. So rather than to try to shoot some primer sealer over that, we're just going to shoot base coat, waterborne base coat, straight on top of the primer surfacer. Now there is something you got to be careful about. We blocked this out after we primed it, and it blocked really good. You know, there was no lows, highs, or any type of imperfections. We did not sand through the primer. There's no bare metal spots. There's no, you know, we didn't sand through any other undercoating. Because if you'd have done that, you know, if there was a metal spot, what are you going to have to do with metal? Well, you're probably going to have to, you know, put a little bit of self-etch primer. Or, you know, if you sand to some other undercoating that's a different color, well, that spot's going to show up because it's not going to be the correct gray shade. So what you could do, you could spray a little bit more primer just on that spot primer, and then you know, sand it and then get it ready. But it has to be all primer or the color of the car. You know, that's the only two colors that can be exposed. Okay, now I've got a tack rag and I'm just tacking it all off, and this just gets all the final dirt and lint and things like that off so that it doesn't end up in the paint job. You know, it can be stuff from your clothes, it could be arm hair, just things like that. You know, just to make certain that you've got everything off. And remember, you can use a tack rag through the process if you find some dirt, you know, and until you get to the clear. And another trick that I've used a lot in the paint booth, I usually have some tweezers. And if you find something, a lot of times, even in the clear coat, you know, a hair, if you can grab a hold of it, you can pull it out, you know, and that works well. Okay, now I don't know what happened. Had a little problems with this video. And that's the thing about it, you don't know it until after you're done. It will clear back up, but I know it's a little fuzzy right now. But what I'm doing is I'm putting the first coat of base coat on there. This is the waterborne base coat. Then I've got to air dry it off. You know, just like with any waterborne, it needs a little bit of help drying. I mean, it will dry on its own, but it takes a long time. And some booths are set up to do this automatically. You can just flip a switch and turn some fans on, but we're not set up for that, so we have to use the handheld. And it's still really pretty fast. I mean, you can put a coat on and dry it off, you know, real fast. Now, this does, you know, if it's real humid, it's going to take longer. You know, that does take kind of take a toll on waterborne as far as dry time. But really, you know, it dries fast if you will use the air. Now what we're doing, we're just recirculating the air flow that's in the booth. We don't want to get right up on the paint, you know, trying to dry that like you would a hair dryer to your hair or anything like that, because if you get too close, you might ripple that paint whenever it's still real wet. So you just kind of want to stand back, and you're using the airflow in the booth, you know, to mix that up to help that dry it as well. Getting that dried up. And again, I apologize for this this video coming out fuzzy during this part, and I'm not sure what had happened, if I bumped the camera or if something got on it, I don't know, but it does clear up here in just a little bit. So again, I apologize about that. So kind of wanted you to see the drying process, and you can, if you look at it there, you can kind of see, even though it's real fuzzy, you can kind of see how it dries. And once that wet look goes away, This waterborne, it dries different than solvent. Solvent dries from the outside in. Well, this waterborne dries from the inside out. So once that's dry, I mean, you can sand it, you can tack it. It's basically dry. So, and that's why with solvents, it's very easy to get solvent pops because the outside dries, kind of skims over, and then you may have solvents trapped inside there that can't get out until a later time, and then finally it does make its way out, but then it leaves a little pinhole where it escapes. So, but waterborne is the opposite. It dries from the inside out. So I've got one coat on there, and this is paint. Even though it's metallic, surprisingly it's covering real good. I mean, that first coat covered real well. And seems like with some colors with waterborne, it covers better, and then some colors, it doesn't cover as well as solvent. But it's just something, you have to experiment with it and see, which colors. Every painter knows that there's certain colors they're going to have problems with. Some of the yellows, even though they're not metallic, some of those don't hide real good. They don't cover real good. All the metallics and silvers, of course, those are not going to hide real well. But I'm just coming back with another coat, going out a little further than I did with the first coat, and then I'm going to have to dry it again. And hopefully, I think this does, man. Hopefully this clears up for you in a little bit. I didn't really want to take all this out because that, left a lot of the steps of what I'm doing, but there we go. Yeah, it looks much better. Okay, now I'm putting on a tight coat. That's where I lower the air pressure. I give it a full pattern, and kind of do a quick, fast pass. And you want to do your passes tight, your overlap tight, but you want to move really fast, and you want your gun about 12 to 18 inches away. And this just kind of fogs the coat on to kind of help lock the metallic. And that's something you really need to do with waterborne. Solvent, you don't really have to do that, but these control coats, you really need to do that with waterborne paint, or PPGs anyway, the vinyl base. If you don't, it's just going to come out real modelly looking. So, but yeah, just lower your air pressure, wide pattern, because what we're wanting to do is just land some of that metallic evenly on top. Getting it dried off again. Okay, now I have started the clear coat. So I'm putting a coat of clear, starting on the hood over there. Again, can't see that real good, but I'll get over here on the other side and you'll be able to see it better. Well, then probably I'll be in the way when we get over here, but like this footage was from a long time ago. I'm always trying to improve these videos, but so with a clear coat, you just want to put on nice even coats. You want it really wet, a full wet coat, and you want 50% overlap. You want to make sure that you get all your gun angles right, and your speed to distance. And like I say, I normally will demonstrate and teach to spray a little bit further away because you have more control. And then as you become more comfortable with the spray gun, you might want to move a little bit closer, but you're going to have to move faster. But the problem is whenever you're just right up there next to the panel, painting real fast and close to it, if you hesitate or you mess up with your speed just a little bit, you're going to have a run. So I kind of demonstrate, how to paint a little bit further away, but you're going to have to move your gun a little bit slower. Getting the air out of the liner there so I can spray different angles. Didn't do that to begin with. But spraying just takes practice. Getting the speed right to your distance, making sure you have correct overlap, and the angles. Once you get all that kind of working together, painting becomes a lot easier. It kind of becomes like driving a car. You're nervous at first and you're thinking about it, but then it kind of becomes second nature, and you kind of develop your own way of doing it. Putting the second coat on, and this is the last coat I'm putting on this video. Again, I don't know what happened because I'm pretty sure I remember this. Uh, I was looking at the car, and this is what I usually do. I usually try to shoot two coats of clear coat, and then if it looks good, doesn't look like I'm gonna need to buff any, and the shine looks good, I leave it there. So a lot of times I just put two full wet coats. But if I look at it and there's some buffing I need to do, or there's some dirt that got in it, or maybe a sag or a run, or just kind of dry, it didn't, just doesn't look the way I want it to look, I'll come back with a third coat, just to level it out. And I think it was hot this day, really, really hot, and I felt like I just wanted this clear to level a little bit better. Again, I don't know what happened to the footage to that, but after this coat, I did come back. I put a little bit extra reducer in there just to help that flow out, that last coat flow out a little bit, and I put a third coat on. So, and that's something you're just going to have to do, as you go, kind of a judgment thing. After two coats, if it doesn't look good after two coats, that's what it's going to look like when it's dry too. So, it's just something to kind of think about. If you think, man, it needs one more just to flow this clear coat out a little bit, make it look a little glossier, a little shinier, then go ahead and come back and put a third coat on. It'll be well worth it, a lot faster to do that than trying to buff the entire panel if you didn't need to. Just put that extra coat on, get it flowed out right. Or if you're buffing, that gives you a little extra to buff too, to sand and buff. Well, that wraps it up for this video, but there are a couple things I want to mention. If you're going to be using this method, not using primer sealer, make sure that your primer surfacer is the correct gray shade. For example, you look up the color code and it'll tell you what shade should be under that. Well, they got different primer surfacer colors as well. Make sure that it's the correct gray shade. You can't just use any primer underneath and paint on top of it and expect it not, to match well. And the second thing is, make sure you don't sand through. This goes for the painted area or where you primed at. Make sure there's not sand through spots, because if there is, you're probably going to have an area there that's showing undercoating that's a different color, or maybe you sanded through on the primer, you sanded to the metal or whatever, where that different color's at. After you're done painting and you pull it outside, you're probably going to see that spot. It's going to look like a stain there. And that's what it is. You're just seeing through that, and it's not the correct gray shade underneath. And it's just throwing it off, making it look different. So if you'll do those things, make sure you got the correct gray shade and do not sand through. And if you do sand through, you're going to have to get some of the primer surfacer, spray that spot, just spot prime it, and then sand it again. So that's the one drawback to using this method. I mean, the primer's got to block out basically perfect. You can't, have any sand throughs or anything like that. So, but it does work well, if you choose to use this method. As always, I really appreciate you for watching these videos. If you like the video, be sure and give us a thumbs up, give us a like. If you haven't subscribed to us, be sure to subscribe. And remember, if something's worth doing, do your best and have a blast doing it. Thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you in the next video.